This is TWiT. I think it was a couple of years ago that Apple added...
With the 6S, right?
Yeah, 3D Touch to the iPhone 6S. And to this day, if you have any older iPhone, you don't have this capability because it's actually a hardware capability. And then they added it to the Apple Watch when the Apple Watch came out 2 years ago. They call it, unaccountably, 3D Touch on the phone and Force Touch on the watch. It's not exactly the same, is that why?
I guess so. The technology must be slightly different.
To me, I always think of this as right-clicking. You know, on a desktop operating system, Windows or Mac, one of the things I always tell people is just right-click whenever you can. If you have a multi-button mouse, right? Or if you don't, Apple doesn't seem to like those. You can also control-click, or command-click, I guess. But no, control-click. I don't know. Anyway, I always have a multi-button mouse, so I always right-click. And you'll discover stuff because you get what's called a context-sensitive menu of things you can do with the thing you're right-clicking on. And I think this was an interesting idea to add this to a mobile operating system.
I think so, too.
At first, it wasn't too widely supported. Apple supported it in some, but not all of its apps. But here we are a couple of years later, and everybody's doing it.
Mostly everybody's doing it. Not everyone, but there's a lot more. You rarely have that issue where you force touch and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Often some apps will just say share.
That's like the default.
That's lame.
Yeah, that's lame. Give us some commands.
Okay.
And ideally, they'll be the most used commands.
Yeah, so this is one that's been around for a while, but this was the one that I used fairly often, which was to take the emergency selfie. So
emergency selfie.
Right, you're just, I want to take a selfie, and then
so you 3D touch the camera icon.
Yeah, so you would
show her camera.
Yes,
there you go.
Thank you. There it is. So you just 3D touch, and it's take a selfie or take a photo or record any emergency photo needs you would have. But yeah, if you immediately needed to take a selfie, you could do that.
Now the way Apple's implemented this is you actually, the screen actually senses a harder press than the light press.
Mm-hmm.
It confuses me a little bit because you know, the jiggle, jiggle, jiggle press, that's no longer a press. That's just a touch. So if you want to get jiggle, 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 it's hard because if you press it, oh, I pressed it too hard.
Yeah, it's
you
hard
just have to
get,
rest your finger on it, and then it will do the jiggle, jiggle, jiggle touch. So that's something that it's a little bit confusing and annoying to me. On the other hand, once you get used to it, now it's interesting, this was such a success on the iPhone that Google adopted it in Android phones. They don't have the hardware, but if you long press an icon now, which is their equivalent of a 3D touch, many of the apps will do kind of like what the camera does, give you some choices. What else do you have?
Well, this is one I use pretty regularly. I don't text and drive, but I do often need to control my podcasts while I'm driving, and I don't want to be messing around in there. So I use Pocket Casts. The other podcast app has a few 3D touch features too, but Pocket Cast has this little up next.
Wow.
So I made this up next, and I can watch my listen to my Fresh Air.
So that's all your subscribed podcasts.
My Kara Swisher, my Katie Couric. I like to hear women interviewing people, I guess, and the long form. So yeah, or you can play like what I was playing before. If I want to mark that as played, I already played it. I don't want to play that. So yeah,
that's
Pocket
my
Cast.
favorite podcast app.
And you don't have to keep your hand. I always keep my hand on it. You don't have to keep your hand on it. You can, but you don't have to. So you can just
once
press.
once you activate the menu, then you just move up and down with a swipe. That's hard to get used to too.
It is, but that is my favorite. You know what? It's also good for just like quick things you want to do. You're waiting in line and you want to, instead of just always checking Facebook or Twitter, I'm learning Spanish with my Duolingo, and there's my Duolingo app, and I just 3D touch that, and it's practice my week skills. So it's just one option.
Weak skills?
I have you know how Duolingo works? Like it knows what you're weak at.
Oh, that's good because you've been using it long enough.
Right. So the ducks, los patos. No, los patos.
Los patos.
And los pájaros.
That's a really useless vocabulary word because you can always just go whack, 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 and people will know what you're talking about. Unless they think it's the penguin, and then they're Batman fans, and then maybe it won't be the same. But
they might think you're crazy. Apparently, yeah. I mean, the turtles, the ducks, that comes up so often in regular
So you
Spanish.
3D touch the Duolingo app, and that's one of the things you can do is practice your weaknesses.
That is the only thing you can do. But I think it's useful. I mean, you could also share. But
yeah, they must just be like click a check a box on your Xcode project, and you'll get that automatically. But that's smart of Apple because it gets people at least starting to use the 3D Touch.
And you can also 3D Touch within search. So if you do that little, what do you call that, where you just thumb down to get what you use most often?
I don't know what you call it, but I use that all the time because I can never find my apps.
And then you can 3D Touch there. So
once you see the icon,
message these 3 people that I regularly message a lot, apparently. And you can 3D Touch within the app. So here's reminders.
What?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. This is the Reminders app.
Let me find some.
You need a reminder.
Yes,
you must have something you need.
Okay, here's all the shopping. So I can 3D Touch garden hose, so I can remind me on a day that I need to buy.
Or when you get to the garden hose store.
When I get to the garden hose store.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I use those location reminders a lot.
I do too.
Always forget that I have something to buy at the grocery store or the hardware store. This way, when you get there, it says, "Oh, don't forget, pick up this," and I like that. Yeah.
Activity. I'm very competitive about my activity. My Apple Watch.
I've noticed that. Wow.
And
by the way, congratulations on all 3 rings this morning. Well done.
I had no rings this morning, but I did run a 10K yesterday, and I doubled my activity. So perhaps you were one day behind.
Now she knows I'm blocking her.
You're not. You are?
No, I'm not. I'm just kidding.
Because I still see you.
It was yesterday I saw it popped up. Yeah.
I did a lot of steps yesterday. So let's, I can 3D Touch my activity.
I just want you to know I use other watches sometimes. So
I know. You use other watches. I've
been seeing other watches. I hope you don't mind.
So I could see my history, which is good. I can see like all the look at that.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. But my history, every time I get a new phone, I don't back it up. So it looks like I didn't exercise in January, but we know that I did.
Yeah. No, look at you. You are actually really, I'm actually quite impressed. You
exercise
really
a lot too, but you do use other watches.
I'm going to yoga today.
Oh.
Is there a yoga button in activities?
You use other. And then you can save it.
I feel like I'm not going to get credit for anything.
No, other is the best. What kind of yoga are you doing?
Normal yoga, not hot yoga.
Oh, no.
I don't like hot yoga. I'm going to do yoga at a normal temperature.
Okay. Well, tell me how much, how many calories you get, because I'm interested in that.
Oh, okay. I will.
Okay.
I will wear the watch.
Yes.
Normally, I don't like to wear a watch during yoga. That's
one. You have a sport band. You have the sport band.
I do. In fact, I went out after Renee Ritchie showed that new Nike sport band. I ran out and got it and I really like it. I should have worn that today. It's pretty. Or did I wear it last week? No, maybe not.
I don't know.
It's
the one
really
with the holes in it? I've never seen you wear it.
No, I like it. I'll wear that to yoga.
Okay, good. I have some more really good ones here. The Apple Photos. If you want a little bit of nostalgia, you can just go to a photo 1 year ago.
Love that feature.
So there's the photos that I took 1 year ago.
I think, does Google Photos do something similar?
Google Photos does free up space, which is helpful.
Yeah. Make a shared album or share.
Share. Yeah, not as great.
Work on it, Google.
Yeah, work on it,
Get your
Google.
3D Touch Foo updated.
And let's see, what is apps? Yeah, some of them are not, like the watch, not helpful. Pair an Apple Watch. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't do that every day.
Well, what else would you do in that app? Check for updates, maybe.
Yeah, it's true. What would you do in that app? That's a good point. The phone app I like, you can create a new contact. That's always good. Like if you're you're trying to get someone's phone number, you're a little bit nervous.
Fast,
maybe.
right? Because
like, yeah. Oh, you were going to give me your phone number? Yeah.
And you're afraid that he's going to leave you at the bar. I've had that happen.
Yep. And let's see.
I have a heart. You probably don't have this app, but we talked about the cardio. Remember that was the blood pressure monitor, and I just experiment. You never know. So this one actually has a lot. You could take a measurement, go right into the app, see friends and family's measurements, see your history. If you have a cardio base, I don't know what that is. You can see the history there or share it. So that's kind of neat. I mean you should try every app you have just to see what happens. Here's share is a lot of them. But we were talking about the Tomato app, Focus. This is a to-do app that uses the tomato timer technology. You add a task, start, so you can start your tomato timer right there and get a report. So that's kind of cool. You just boom like that. That's Focus to do. We mentioned that a couple of weeks ago on our productivity.
Here's another one that is tricky, especially if you use a case. You press on the left to see your app switcher. So there's, I usually double tap my home button, but then you can see.
I never can quite get that working right.
Let's try it again. You press
and slide over.
I don't want.
Yeah. Here, I'll do it. Well, I could. I think,
there I got
there
it.
it is. You got it.
I got it.
Yeah. It's hard to do. So eventually you stop doing it. Right?
It's way easier just to double tap
Right.
your home button, I
Right.
think, and see the same thing. So if you don't like Siri and you like to use Google's voice search, this is as close as you can get, I think. 3D touching the Chrome app and then voice searching.
Okay.
So
Okay.
who is Leo Laporte?
You don't want to know. This is the.
What?
Used to say something. I guess
No, doesn't in your
Siri
phone.
never
what
says
it would.
nothing.
Siri would not.
Yeah.
She's not going to
She
speak back
says
to you.
nothing.
But your Android phone would.
I
speak
use
back
a
to you.
Google Calendar instead of the iPhone calendar. And the Google Calendar, add event, add reminder, add goal, which is that silly thing. Remember the Google Calendar? And I used to have a goal to do yoga every day, and now I'm actually doing it, and I don't have the goal anymore. So there you go. I imagine Apple Calendar has a Force Touch as well, or 3D. I'm sorry. See, I get the nut. If you have a mail program, geez, Fast Mail, that's the one I use. That should really have more. I'm sure the Apple Mail will give you a lot of things like mail to your most common people. So always do that. you know?
One thing that could be dangerous is Facebook's. You can just 3D touch to go live.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, wow.
go live.
Go live. Mine doesn't do that. You must have some special.
Really?
You're
When you
special.
3D touched, it didn't go live?
Yeah, search, view profile, write post, upload photo or video.
That is interesting.
So what's one of the things Facebook does that I think people don't realize is different people have different apps.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it has to do with your permissions, I think.
It doesn't have to do with whether you've updated the app or not?
Well, I'm pretty sure I've been keeping up to date, but maybe I...
that is
should
interesting.
check.
Maybe they think you go live enough, Leo Laporte.
Yeah.
We need to see a little more
I'm,
Megan Maroney.
No, I'm up to date on Facebook.
Interesting.
Isn't
so
that
they're
weird?
different?
Yeah.
So that's a Facebook thing.
I think it's a Facebook thing you just wouldn't understand.
Probably because I'm younger.
Oh, you're over 50. You'll never go live. Yeah. Perhaps you'd like the senior edition. Facebook Gray, they call it. Here's a Google Plus. As if you'd ever want to create a new post, share photos or videos, create a poll. That's an unusual choice. It's make it really fast to create a poll anytime you need to.
Yeah, Google Plus. That's
Google Plus.
always
You've heard
on
of
the
that,
cutting
right?
edge.
Twitter, search, new tweet, new message. This is a weird one, QR code. Should I hit it? See what happens?
Yeah, what is that?
What
for?
is that? Is that to take a picture of somebody's QR code and tweet them?
To follow
That's
them?
my QR code.
To show it to someone. So here's my QR code. Follow me on Twitter.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't even know they had that feature.
That's the same. That's like the updated
Snapchat
version
does
of like
that
you're
too.
nervous. You want to give someone your Twitter QR
Here's
code.
my Twitter. Just
like your business
tweet
card.
me.
Yeah.
Tweet me. I don't know.
So-
really? Tweet me? Snapchat must have something
Follow me
like
on
that.
Twitter. Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
Yeah.